Well, welcome to another live segment. I think we're live. Yes, we are. All right, another live segment on keeping healthy during the coronavirus shutdown. Last time we were together, I talked about the body being a pump and how we need to move to keep the body pumping. Well, I want to talk a little bit more about that body pump and a little more about how the internal workings of this pump happen. So your body is a pump, like we said last time. Two-thirds of your body is actually water, and 83% of your bones are water. 8% of your teeth are water, and we got to keep this water pumping. And as you're moving, your body pumps, but your intracellular spaces in between all the cells depend on the acid alkaline pump of your body. This is a tidal flow where you go from acid to alkaline. Every 24 hours, you will make the polar swap from acid to alkaline, and this helps pump all the fluids in between your cells and helps exchange the nutrients, helps remove the waste, and every cell in us is bathed in a water fluid. And you got to wonder, is your water fluid murky or is it clean? So that depends on your diet, of course. And after that, then we need to be able to keep your acid and alkaline tide going. Your collagen, which is your connective tissue, collects the acids from your body. And it's actually kind of like a pre-kidney. And it gathers the acids, and then the acids eventually enter the bloodstream and get filtered through your lymphatic system. They end up in the kidneys, and then they're out of your body. So too much acid produces inflammation in the body and pain. Think arthritis, anyone? And think about your joints and the collagen in and around your joints and how they gather acid. So when somebody's too acidic, then you get inflammation and you get pain. And that's why some people, they start alkalizing. They do the alkaline water, the Kangen water, and in those things, and they start to alkalize, they actually feel better. But that's not the solution. That is a stopgap measure. So it's like taking a supplement until you fix the shortage in your body, so then your body can work right. So the pH of 1 is acidic, right? Actually, the acid alkaline scale goes from 0 all the way to 14, where 14 is like oven cleaner. It is so alkaline that it will absolutely cook you. It'll dissolve your skin. And the same thing with a pH of 1, like think battery acid, right? So water should be about 7, a pH of 7, which you see is kind of right in the middle of that. Baking soda is about 9. We're going to talk about baking soda a little bit. But back up to the hydrochloric acid in your stomach ranges about 1.5 on the pH scale, more or less. Should be 1.5, but sometimes it's up to 3. And this is done by way of what's called proton pumps in your stomach. So if you think you've got a hyperacid stomach, they give you a proton pump inhibitor. And they're actually, again, this is not even a supplement. This is just plain interfering with how your body wants and needs to work. And it interferes with your intracellular exchange, with the tidal flow between acid and alkaline that you should do every day. So stored acids in your collagen and in your tissues actually exchanges at night while you sleep, and that's the acid tide. And the base flood, which comes later in the day, starts to bring nutrients back in. So you got the acid takes the the acid flood takes the acidic and the toxins and stuff away from the cells, and then the alkaline tide brings nutrients to your cells. So one of the reasons we're so acidic in America is because we eat so much protein. Now I'm part carnivore myself, so I eat meats, but in America, we eat about 400 grams of meat a day, when the human body actually needs about 40 grams. So when you're in a hyper-protein society like we are, your tissues get acidic, and then we have more arthritis, we have more inflammation. Back to the lungs. The lungs are 83% fluid, and the lungs are what the coronavirus attack. And if you're acidic, you're not going to be exchanging the toxins in your lungs quite so much. So it's very important that we go from acid to alkaline every day. And your stomach actually takes sodium chloride. You know what that is? That's salt. And it takes salt and it breaks it down into sodium bicarbonate, right? And if you're in a season of acidosis in your body, it's actually from too little alkalizing. You're eating too much acidic stuff, but you have too little alkalizing, and there's some easy solutions for that. If you don't have enough sodium bicarbonate in your stomach, sodium bicarbonate, think about the baking soda. And if you don't have enough in your stomach to make alkalize your body, then what your stomach does is makes more HCl, hydrochloric acid, so it can break it down and get more sodium bicarbonate. And to shut your proton pumps down actually interferes with your sodium bicarbonate cycle. So more sodium bicarbonate, when your stomach is producing it, it's actually causing the acid reflux symptoms. And you have a deficiency of normal acids, and you have a stagnation in your gallbladder, you have stagnation in your pancreas. Now you get diabetes and gallstones, your lungs congest, you have worse asthma than if you're asthmatic or whatever. So you can use litmus paper. You can buy these litmus paper online, or you can go to your health food store and just get a little tear strip, and you can check yourself in the morning after your what they call the second catch. So you go ahead, you get up and you urinate, and then later that morning your second elimination, your second void would be where you would take your alkaline acid test with a pH strip, and you want to be a 6.8 in the morning, right, which is slightly on the acidic side. Remember, I said water should be about 7.0. In the evening, at about 4 in the evening and on, you should become about 7.8, 7.6 or so on the alkaline scale. So you start out acidic in the morning, and that's when you're eating your proteins, that's when you're digesting, you're breaking down your minerals, and then the alkaline flood brings all these to your cells later in the day. So there's several more kinds of pumps in your body, like there's the cortisol melatonin pump. So you get cortisol, you're high in the morning, you're high in your acids in the morning, and you can digest. It takes cortisol to digest your food, and then you start to taper off, and cortisol and melatonin, they oppose each other. So as your cortisol comes up, it pushes your melatonin down. You wake up in the mornings, and then in the afternoon, your melatonin's coming up and your cortisol's going down. So you shouldn't be eating a bunch of stuff in the evening. You should be staying alkaline in the evening, and this will keep your acid alkaline tidal flow going. And something else you can do, if you're testing in the morning and you're not acidic enough, then there's apple cider vinegar. There's what I do is I have about a half a lemon in the morning, and I mix it with my tea and I drink it, and that helps make my stomach more acidic. And then in the evenings, after 5 or so, I take about between a half and 1 teaspoon of baking soda, stir it in a little water, and chuck it down, and then that alkalizes my body. It helps the alkaline flood, but it also alkalizes kidneys. And anybody with kidney distress, inflammation in their kidneys, they need to be alkalizing at night. And when you drink baking soda at night, you will alkalize your kidneys within minutes. And that's a good thing because your kidneys need a break. Your kidneys are absorbing and gathering all the acids to get rid of them through the night. And then in the morning, your first void is going to be highly acidic. Like I say, we're looking for the second void to get your baseline for what your acid is in the morning. So your body's a pump, cleverly designed hydraulic pump from the skull and the meninges pumping the cerebral spinal fluid all throughout your body several times a minute. Your skull expands and contracts as you're moving and walking and working through the day. Your body's pumping and moving fluids. Your peristalsis pumps food and the chyme and everything through your gut and helps you break down your foods and helps it ferment just right, keeps your brain going at night. You think you need to eat food to keep from going hypoglycemic at night. Actually, during the night, that's when your body converts triglycerides into essential fatty acids. So if you're high triglyceride, your pump's broken. All right, and you need to be acid in the morning, alkaline at night, cortisol high in the morning, melatonin at night, and that way you can sleep and wake up and be in a state of homeostasis, health. So that's our little blurb today on staying well, staying healthy during our coronavirus shutdown, and you want to keep your body pumping going. All right, God bless, and we'll see you all in a few days.